So right now my game looks like actual trash. And look, I know people will tell you to focus on the mechanics and the core gameplay before you do the art or whatever, but I'm pretty worried nobody will even watch my videos anymore if I keep having to show this guy on the screen the whole time. Like, it's just a complete disaster, so I'm going to need to face my fears and make some new assets. Starting with the delivery bag. Right now it's a red cube with a prism on top of it, so I think I should be able to do a bit better than that. Now, since I am a bit of a noob when it comes to 3D modeling, I've already prepared this list of all the stuff I need to make for my game in this video. It's gonna start off easy and then get progressively more and more challenging. So by the end of the video, I don't know, I'll probably just be clawing my eyes out. Just kidding. My plan is hopefully my modeling skills will just improve a lot and my game will look super awesome. Anyway, back to that delivery bag I was modeling. What the heck is this? Maybe I am just a bit stupid or something, but I genuinely spent a really long time just trying to wrap my head around how the sides of a bag like fold inwards. It was a whole big thing. At some point I ended up with this, which I don't even want to talk about. However, after lots of trial and error, eventually I created something that looked a little better. So I exported it to my game and then I slapped a material onto the bag which gives it this red band at the bottom, sort of like one of those McDonald's bags. But anyway, here is the result of my hard work. I reckon it's decent and you can see I've still tried to keep things pretty simplistic and low poly. In the end, I guess it wasn't so bad. Apart from the fact making just this one bag took me an entire day. I still need to model a bunch of stuff, including people, which I am not looking forward to. Also, if you didn't watch the video I made like half a year ago and you've got no idea what this game is even about, I basically started working on this food delivery thing, which is like an Uber Eats simulator where you play as a delivery driver and you have to deliver fast food to fat people. Anyway, but back to my list. Now that the food bag is done, I want to make some improved tileable road pieces, since right now all my roads are just grey boxes and the corners don't even curve properly. To be honest, these pieces were actually a lot easier to make than the delivery bag. The only thing that was a bit challenging was while I was making the road texture. I spent like half an hour genuinely doing some sort of advanced trigonometry trying to make the dotted line for the center of the curved road piece. I eventually figured out I could just use a circle and like cut parts of it out. Whatever, here are the new road pieces in the game. They're not perfect, but I think they'll definitely help to make the game look a lot better than before. However, now that we have some better roads, we should get to modeling stuff that will actually drive on them. For instance, the delivery bike. This is what the delivery bike looks like right now. Aside from the fact I made it in like literally the last 10 minutes of my first devlog and it's impossible to control, it looks like trash, and I also don't really think it makes that much sense for what looks like a regular bicycle to be going this fast. But I obviously don't want to make the bike any slower. So instead, the first thing I decided to do was scrap the delivery bike idea and create a delivery moped instead, which I think is a lot cooler anyway. I am feeling a little more confident and warmed up from the modeling I've already done so far, so I don't think this will be too much of a challenge. And I reckon I can probably get this moped done in like, I don't know, a couple of days, and then I can move on and keep doing some of the other things that I... Okay, well, I have good news. The moped is finally done. Look, here it is. This was literally the worst thing ever. Getting this initial shape was for sure the hardest part. I did have a reference, but on my first attempt, I was only using a picture of the side of the moped, so obviously from all other angles, it looked pretty terrible. However, I still kept restarting, and then I would get stuck and not know what to do next. But I didn't give up, and eventually I got the main shape looking decent, and it was a lot easier from there. This is what it looks like in the game. Oh, the handlebars are a bit high. Okay, that's a lot better. I made it red. As you can see, it drives, it still handles great, and yeah, I think it looks good, and I'm honestly pretty proud of myself. One minor thing I realized though, only after I'd finished modeling like the entire thing. Those of you that know how a moped actually works will have already known this, but it turns out they steer by turning the handles. My handlebars are completely welded to the body and they don't move at all, but I reckon that's a problem for another day. For now, the moped is probably going to be the only vehicle in the game. I was going to try to model cars, but I think I've decided I actually cannot be bothered. Anyway, bad news, it's now time to model something I've been absolutely dreading. People. So as I already said in my intro, this is definitely the most needed upgrade for my game right now. Like, the roads are great and the new moped is cool, but nobody's gonna care about any of that if the people you actually deliver to look like this. However, obviously modeling actual people is going to be pretty hard, which is why it's always been something I've pretty much tried to avoid doing at all costs. But anyway, let's just do it. So I went and found this image of a sumo wrestler, which had the front, back, and side, and I figured it should work fine for what I'm up to. I also found this really good tutorial series for making people, and this honestly made things a lot easier than I expected. Like, pretty soon I already had the basic shape together. I even learned how to model feet, and I also made these hands, which I was really happy with. The problem was they were a bit too realistic, so it ended up being a massive pain trying to get them to attach to the wrist properly, and I just couldn't get it to look good, so I had to scrap them and remodel some simpler blocky hands instead. And I put the fat guy in a T-pose, which made it a lot easier to connect them to the wrists. Next, I had to do the head. So I just worked on the head shape for a bit, then I cut out the eyes, the mouth, and I modeled the nose. And now he looks beautiful, except he has no eyeballs, so I just chucked those on as well, and that was pretty much the model done. Here he is in the game. As you can see, he's completely naked, so minor oversight. So I just went back and selected new materials onto the faces where his clothes should go. I did UV unwrap him, but I just used the auto unwrap. Essentially, if you don't know what UV unwrapping is, it's kind of like driving your car into a ravine full of rocks and just getting crushed through the under, which is also why my assets all just have completely flat color textures for now, because texturing and UV unwrapping would be a whole big thing. And I also kind of like the sort of plasticky style. You may have also noticed that I've been modeling with Maya and not with Blender in this video. I did not spend $3,000 on the software. I just already got a license for it through my university, so that's why. Anyway, here he is in the game. Looks pretty cool, and the whole delivery system still works great. However, we still need to put the new road pieces onto the map, so I just did that pretty quick. And I also made this new white panel texture for the houses and gave them gray roofs, which I think makes them fit in a bit better than with that prototype checker pattern that they had before. I was actually going to remodel all the buildings as well, but in the end I kind of ran out of time. The fast food restaurant still looks pretty depressing. Oh well, I'll worry about that next time. For now, I reckon this is honestly a massive improvement, and I feel like I've definitely improved my understanding of 3D modeling in general from doing this. You know, like ensuring quad-based topology,
or to a greater degree more organic geometry, taking into account polycount optimization,
Okay, sorry for taking so long to upload this second devlog. If you haven't seen the first one, yeah, you can watch it here. And if you like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next devlog. Also, let me know in the comments what you think I should add next. Okay, bye.